Hi everyone. I was reading in chapter 31 today, and there's this beautiful section that talks about self concept versus self. In other words, your idea of yourself and God's idea of you. And for many of us who have been practicing Course in Miracles, we become accustomed to everything as an idea, right? To the world that seems like like a reduction. But the fact of the matter is, the universe is thought, right? The universe is mind, and everything is an idea. So he talks in this section so beautifully about the self concept that you made of yourself that has no likeness at all to what you truly are. And you use all your energy and all your power and every effort, right, to defend that self identity that you've made of yourself, because if you do not, you are going to have to accept yourself as God created you. Because what would happen if you stop defending yourself against truth is that what you truly are is being revealed to you. And that's the most scariest thing. It's at the same time the most joyous thing, because for a moment it may be scary, but then that gets converted to joy. The reason why you keep defending it is because you're afraid of it, right? You're afraid of God, you're afraid of love, you're afraid of what you've made of love. But of course, that makes no sense to be afraid of love. And he talks about the self identity, right? You come without a self into this world, and as you mature, you make a self identity of yourself that meets the world on equal terms, right? You have your ideas, your convictions, and you defend it with all your might, and which is the reason you're always tense, right? Awakening, then, or the reversal of thought, your spiritual transformation, becomes the release of that tension of self identity, becomes the release of the defense of what you've made of yourself. That means you're going to have to stop wanting to be right. You're going to have to forgive. You're going to have to release your angers and your fears. You're going to have to be willing to have an open mind and look at everything differently. In other words, it's an unlearning of everything that you've learned as you mature, as you have matured. So, yes, it's the opposite of the teachings of the world, because the world will teach you to hold on to your convictions, to hold on to your belief system, defend it with all your might, because that's what you are, right? You are your belief system, and stand there for a moment in maybe complete embarrassment or complete fear or complete being lost, and not knowing what you are. If you are for a moment not defending yourself, is a scary thing. But remember, that's awakening. For a moment, you let go of that reference system, right? That you've set up for yourself in space time, and you're trying to hold on to with all your might. And for a moment, you're going to be asked to free fall into reality, if you will, right? To let go of all your reference system and stand there for a moment without knowing who you are, so that you can be shown who you are. And for those of you who had the experience, right? When you're being shown what you are, no words can describe that particular experience. There's nothing in the world that even remotely compares to that unbelievable experience of what's beyond this. Yeah, the offering, therefore, is just stop defending yourself, right? Release your ideas about yourself, release the necessity to be right, forgive, right? Don't condemn, don't judge. These are all different ways of expressing that really the entire practice is to unlearn what you've taught yourself. We call this divine ignorance, right? That you stand in that moment, in the present moment, without knowing anything, that you're going to admit for a moment that you have no idea what any of this means. You have no idea how to respond to this. You have no idea how to look upon this, because you really don't, right? You immediately fill it up with your own ideas. You project your own thoughts upon the world, but that's what you made of yourself, right? That's the defense of yourself. And the scariest thing for a moment is to not do that. Stand there for a moment in your uncomfortableness and ask. Ask, what should I do? How do I look upon this? Right? Um, what's the meaning of this? Why is this happening? Right? Ask for help. right? Ask for help. But yeah, it is just that stepping back that you're being taught to, you know, um, let take the place of what your self identity immediately does, which is rush in and put its own meaning upon the world. Read for a moment this particular section if you had a moment. The other thing that he really points out is that part of that self identity that you display in this world is always your innocence, right? I'm innocent, but the world is evil and is constantly attacking my own innocence, right? Which is again, it's the opposite of what's true. You're the cause of this world. You just put it out there so that you can now put the blame upon the world. But the fact of the matter is, you put it out there, and now you conveniently forget that you're the cause of it, right? So there's that face of innocence that you put up, while as a matter of fact, you're the cause of it, right? You're innocent, but not in that way. You're innocent because of how you were created, of what you are in truth, right? You're not innocent, innocent in the sense that you have nothing to do with what's happening to you. No, whatever is happening to you, you're fully responsible for. There's nothing attacking you but your own thoughts returning home, because once you project your attack upon the world, it has no option, it has no other possibility of um, reflecting that attack back to you. So it's an incredible section. And once you get that, how that works, you're not going to escape the practice of that. But it makes it a heck of a lot easier um, if you remember that you're constantly attacking, defending yourself against your own attack. There's really no one attacking you out there. That's impossible, right? The Son of God, cannot be attacked. But once you remember that, right, that all you're seeing reflected back to you is your own attack thoughts, then you go like, okay, the only way to break that cycle is to fully forgive the world, to no longer defend myself against it. That's the reversal of the thinking that A Course in Miracles is teaching, that those of you out there who are practicing A Course in Miracles are practicing, right? Does it need constant reminding? Sure. Does it need practicing? Sure. But it does become easier when you get used to it, isn't it? And at some point, it becomes your first reaction, just to kind of step back and ask, as opposed to immediately defend yourself. Self concept versus self. Amazing idea. So if you have a moment today, read it. It's beautiful. I love you. I hope you have a great, great day today, wherever and whenever you are. And I'll see you everywhere.